All right, so this is the moment we discovered. My name is Joe Bowers. Thank you for showing up.
Yeah.
And it's Jan.
Jan.
What was the name you said the other day on Facebook you're going to change it to?
That's right, yeah. Well, so I used to go by John in high school.
Okay.
And I'm going back to John now because it's just easier. I get called Jan every day.
Jan?
Yeah. Because it's spelled like Jan,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm primarily focused on mobile home park investments, long-term stay RV park investments. And, I got Bob and Susie from Oklahoma calling me like, is this Jan? Did you send us that contract? I'm like, no, it's Jan. Like, what? We thought you were a girl this whole time, right? So, yeah, no, I'm switching it over just to make it easier.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like to get into the mobile home park thing too.
Yeah?
Yeah. So let me just go into some questions,
Cool.
What was your first real estate deal and what did you learn from it?
To find the first deal, I just wanted to copy something I knew was going to work for sure. And so I went to all the meetups, I talked to all the people, and I realized, okay, probably should just, if I want to end up with a portfolio of cash flowing properties, why don't I just start there? So I found a single family home in central Tacoma because I went to UW Tacoma for a few years. And so I figured, okay, I know this market. So then I just started looking at Redfin, Craigslist, Zillow. Actually found my first house on Craigslist, of all places, yeah. And single family home, fixed it up, found some GC that was not great. Construction is stressful. That's the first thing I learned. And the next thing I learned is that I rented it out for $1,650. My mortgage is $1,150. And I'm thinking, I just made $500. Like, that's not much, but if I do that 10 times, I could live on $5,000 a month. And so I just learned that a new way of thinking about making money. Before it was, I have to trade 1 hour for a specified amount of money. And now it's my asset is generating money, which was so different. And that just having that monthly rental income come in, even though it wasn't much, completely changed how I thought about earning my next dollar.
Well, it's a different sense of freedom too, because eventually that can pay for a car payment or pay your house payment or pay for something or to put it aside and pay off a big bill and get out of debt or whatever. People, you got to start somewhere. So if you start somewhere with a little bit of cash flowing, like the next one, they all compile up. And now you have a portfolio making, $30,000 a month or something, something crazy,
That's the goal.
Yeah. Right. That's everybody's goal, right? Everybody wants to be free and, live off someone else paying their bills, right?
Sure.
That's the dream. Right?
Sure.
I don't want to go to work every day. I don't want to deal with the stress every day.
Right.
So that's kind of, the main goal, or most people have, I think, What was the defining moment when you realized that real estate could change your life?
I mean, it was that first deal. So I started tracking my net worth because I realized I want to become a millionaire and I need to, if I want to improve at something, I need to track it. So I've been tracking my net worth ever since before that first house. And before I had my first house, I had a net worth of like a couple grand, right? And then after the house, my net worth increased from a couple grand to like 40 grand. And I was like, oh my God, $40,000 at one time. That was wild. And so that really redefined how I thought about wealth generation too, instead of just income earning. But like, I realized that I can't be bound to just my work. I need to also rope in other people, right? And so I think like this as a business owner, you have to leverage people, processes, technology, capital. And so that was the first time I leveraged people and capital and, some rudimentary processes and technology to make money. And it really amounted to something significant, more significant than anything I've ever done. So I think just seeing that net worth jump so drastically, even though 40 grand in the grand scheme of things isn't much, at the time it was monumentous for me.
Yeah, especially when you go from $1,000 to $40,000.
Right.
Like, boom, I'm rich. Let's go. So what drew you to real estate? Like, what did you do before real estate and what made you stick with it?
Yeah. Went to college, studied business, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I started volunteering. All my mentors and peers told me, hey, like, if you want a great job after college, you got to start like volunteering, start joining all these clubs and stuff. So I did all that. And one of the volunteer opportunities that I had took me to Poland, and I got a chance to teach high school students about business in this thing called Washington Business Week that we then took to Poland and did Poland Business Week. I did it in Washington first. They kind of trialed me out because I was the youngest one there. And they would, lead a group of kids through this week and help them like run a virtual company and make marketing and sales decisions. And it was really fun. And so I did well in Washington. So they took me to Poland. But in order to go to Poland, I had to sell my car to afford it because I had no money, right? I was like 21 at the time. And in Poland, I got to do 4 of these weeks consecutively. And I really love teaching and I really love working with young people. My first job was swim instructor. Because I was in my element there and I was shining, people saw that. And all the other people that I was working with were like middle management, like I said, at Boeing, Microsoft, Amazon. So when I got back to the States, I had multiple job offers, not because I did great in school, but because people that were where I wanted to be saw me doing well at something, right? And so that's how I got my first job at Boeing after college. And it was a cool job. I got to do a rotational program where every 4 months I went to a new job and saw 6 different parts of the company. And then I ended up in commercial contracts and aircraft sales. And I'm very grateful for my time there, but I realized pretty quickly that like, I'm very capped on what I can earn here. It was like, I was making 60 grand a year and I moved back in with my mom to pay off my student loans and save up money. And so I was living on like about 40 grand. I was saving 20 grand a year, which is pretty good for like a young kid, save 20 grand a year. Right. So I'm like, okay, Jan, do the math. 20 grand a year. How many years at the savings rate till you get to $1 million? And I was like, 50 years? I'm not doing this for 50 years. And so I got the realization that I need to do something other than just trade an hour for a specific dollar amount. And so that's when I started to try my hand at business. So I tried and failed at creating a backpack product, a physical product with some electronics built in. And my brother and I tried to create and sell some watches. That didn't go so well. And then I thought, okay, I need a more structured approach, something where I can follow someone around me that has done this before. Because, there's not a lot of people around you when you're 21 years old that have built a successful product. There just isn't. But there is people that you could go to at any real estate meetup that own a rental house. I'm like, okay, I got to get around people that have exactly what I want and spend more time with them. And so that's how I failed at a couple other businesses, wasn't happy with the job, and then finally thought, okay, I'm going to start investing in real estate. And that's when I found that first house on Craigslist.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, they say that you're the sum of the 5 people you hang out with the most, and like you have to be around people that are doing the same thing, or doing what you want to do, or where you're at. Otherwise, you're going to be just like everybody else, right? It's kind of hard to excel when you have everybody else wanting to go to the bar and hang out, kick it, and party. Right. When you're trying to make something of yourself, especially at that age too, and your job offer is probably because, you got to do something you love, so you brought up, being around kids, coaching kids. I love coaching. I coach almost year round. Cool. So I love coaching. I love being the mentor to kids, being that that beacon of hope, that shining light, being positive, maybe I'll have a positive influence in their life, being show them what a man can be or what a man should be, or, be that, male figure that may not have, right. Just be that positive person, like watching kids succeed and the pure joy on a kid's face when they accomplish something in sports. And it's a lot more than just sports. You're teaching a boy to be a man. You're teaching them to show up every day. You're teaching them to go through the hard stuff. I watch these kids, where they're running laps and they're crying. I'm like, I stopped them all. Nope, I brought them on. We're not crying because it's hard. You don't cry because something's hard. You cry because you're in pain. You don't cry because something's hard. So okay, and they stopped. So there's like 5 kids crying because they're running. It's like, no, we don't cry for that. So it's like, but I watch that kid. Like I had like last year, this event, with all the kids, they all do this like 3-day training thing, for the younger kids, and my team won the whole thing, and all the little, tug of war and all the little King of the Ring stuff. Yeah. And the smallest kids, I'm like, to see the joy on their face, one kid didn't win, and I was like, did you have fun? Yeah, you try hard, then you won. Dude, you're good. Yeah. You're going to fail sometimes in life, it's like getting up that, teaching a kid to fail and get back up and be positive. Things fail. Like real estate stuff, things fail. Stuff happens. Sure. You mentioned a contractor, you had this face like, the entire GC. We had this whole conversations earlier about, the GC thing's crazy. Become a GC is so easy. I feel bad for people that just get into real estate because they may not vet a GC the right way or any contractor the right way and get screwed, and get taken for money. For sure. I see it all the time. time, I've had calls, from people, which, being a sensitive person, I get this, lady calls me about getting, hosed and have someone rip her off, and that sucks. So, like, I want to help, but I can't pay for that. I didn't steal that money from you.
Right.
Like, I can help as much as I can. I still got to get paid. My guys still have to get paid. Guys are expensive, and healthcare is expensive, insurance, gas, it's expensive to run a business. And, I had at one point, 45 employees. It gets expensive. And it's a large monthly bill,
Right.
and I can't help every single person that, got hosed because they didn't do their homework, but, definitely trying to do the right thing all the time is, it's easy for me because that's what I always do, or try to always do, but it's like sometimes people are out there just taking advantage of people, especially the newer in the real estate, estate field. I feel bad for some of these people that take at face value what some of these deals are,
It's tough. I feel like I have a duty to try to protect the general populace too, because I run a community.
You
right?
you run your page. I mean,
That's right. Yeah. Worry. So it's like, if there's a bunch of people in there and a lot of them, they don't know what's up. They're just getting started. And, it's nice if they have someone that can help them be like, look, this is a few things you need to do in order to perform your due diligence here before you just hand over money. Right.
This isn't one of my questions, but do you have, and this might be something to think about, but do you have a mentorship program where you help some of these people, like, partner up with some of their deals and help them with getting their first deal done, or their first 2 deals or 3 deals or something?
For sure, yeah.
I've offered that to a couple people. I have, being the construction background, I have the construction experience, and I've done enough flips where I have that experience.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, it's hard. You have to pull them out. This whole, like, it's free, borrow people's money. Yeah, you're using hard money loans. They still cost money. You still got to pay the note every month. You still got to pay the points up front. You still got to pay.
Right.
But, I told them, like, yeah, I'll partner with you. It's got to be 50-50. I'm making some money too,
Sure.
And some people are like, well, I'm just doing it myself. Okay, that's fine, but don't come crying when you lose.
I definitely recommend that people start by learning from an experienced professional.
For sure, dude.
Right?
Like,
that's how I started.
Why not have half of something than all of nothing because you lost because you just bought a terrible deal. I was talking earlier where I got this one deal sent to me at least a dozen times or more. And one day I got sent to me by, I think, 3 different wholesalers, marked up each time.
Right.
It's like, it's the same deal the same. I've been sent this deal 10 times, 12 times probably now in the last 6 months, year or something. It's like, kept on getting sent the same deal. Like, no, I'm not buying this. It's just kind of crazy. Like, the deals out there and the people come up with these crazy ARVs that are not even close to what they should be. I'm like, and you can just do a little bit of due diligence, looking at a few different websites and come up with it, but they're coming up with these crazy ARVs. I'm like, I don't know where you're coming up with that. How you even found this? What lame brain idea?
Well, that's, I think that's the market, right? There's a lot of ignorance and there's a lot of stupidity in the marketplace, whether it's an agent or a wholesaler or a seller. I mean, they just don't know, or they are looking for a sucker, and that's literally a part of the market. And so it's your job as the investor, I think, to realize that and recognize that. And yeah, it sucks when we have our time wasted by people that are throwing out wild numbers, but it's part of the market, I think.
Yeah, it sucks because I like to feel like, and I have to rein myself back in, that everybody's operating the same level of integrity as I do. And you don't, right? And it's not. But I always like to think that, I see the best in everybody. I love everybody. Sure. I tell people I love them all the time. I at the grocery store try to make someone's day better. Tell people, random person, I love you. Hope you're having a good day. Random on the street. Just like some of that. I just try to make people's day better, or add value to someo's life, even a stranger. Just add value.
That's why you're successful, Joe.
It's super easy to be nice, though. It's so much easier to be nicer than it is to be mean. I mean, for me,
sure.
Right? So it's like, but I feel like I always feel like everybody's the same way, and it's not. I got burned so many times. It's like, it sucks. Luckily I have the fortitude and the strength and to overcome that and get back up and go, get punched right in the face. I'm too stupid to quit, I'm just too dumb to quit, But it's like, not everybody has that, so it's like they can have one bad deal and they're just boom, they're done. And they missed out on this
especially if it's their first deal, then that's why we really got to do something to help people on their first ever deal, because if you don't have a decent experience on that first one, there's no way you're going to continue. And you will continue because that there's good around the corner, but if your first one sucks, then
and there's that freedom that you can get, even if you don't become a huge investor. What you can do for your children, the difference you can make in the next generation for your family is huge.
100%.
And so if one person gets a bad deal and gets that ruined for them, you just change, you ruin, as a wholesaler or the guy that gave him that bad deal, and if they did knowingly, you ruined that whole family's life.
Literally, yeah.
Like you could have, and if not everybody has the strength to get up and go at it again.
And that's absolutely true. Like a fun fact I know is that 63% of all Americans' net worth is in their primary residence or their retirement account or a combination. 63%. So if you know that fact, that most people's majority of their net worth is in their house, why wouldn't you try to buy at least one house, if not 10 or 100 houses, right? So
yeah, I mean, that's generational wealth, Was there ever a moment when you thought about quitting, and what kept you going?
I've had a few. I think I've had a few that were close. I was never like, I'm throwing in the towel. I don't think I have it in me to just fully lay down and stop trying. I've definitely stopped trying for a few weeks because I was feeling really down, or I just got so beat up by a certain project and just my own mental health wasn't there. And so I just I did lay down for a few weeks and just, let things go. But that doesn't last forever. I just don't think I have that in me to just let it go completely, especially because I know I've had success before. So I'm like, I can replicate it. It's just a matter of time and effort, right?
Yeah.
Just 2 years ago, I was permitting a 6-unit development site in Seattle, which I've since sold and made a small profit on, fortunately. One of my toughest projects. And subdivision took over a year, then permitting these 6 units took another year. The neighbors were trying to sue me. I had 2 years sober and I relapsed. And so it was just this combination of things that were just one after another raining down on me that, I definitely lost weeks of time, making progress. I just kind of was like, well, this is it, but that wore off eventually. And I got back up and I got my shit together and I re-engaged people and, I got my mental health back in order and slowly started making progress, slow crawl back to start stacking up wins and got the project done eventually. But man, it's, when you got $500,000 of your cash sitting in one project and nothing's going well and people are suing you and your mental health is not there, it's definitely hard to keep pushing. That was a pretty low point a couple of years back, and it's been, thank God, it's been on the up and up since then. Yeah. But you're grateful for the good days because that can come back into your life. Yeah, it's
God's got a plan for everything, and something my best friend that's sit back here says all the time, the higher level, the stronger the devil. You're always trying, when you're doing something good's around the corner, that's when it's gonna get the hardest. You really got to dig in and find that grit, because I'm sober too, so it's I had a huge moment last year where I was trying to buy a house, had this deal, we're gonna move, sober. I opened up a piece of mail randomly right around Christmas time, open up $685,000 to the IRS. I'm like, what? I had no idea I owed any money. I thought everything was paid up. And so I, deal goes. Those people sue me. At this time, I had decided to downsize my company, so I got rid of a bunch of people. So anybody that caused me stress, I found a bunch of people were stealing, all this kind of stuff. One of the guys was stealing from me, proved that he was stealing, all this stuff. He got unemployment. Then he takes me to court. He got killed twice. And then he goes to Illinois, and Illinois sues me, and he won. So it's he stole, admits to stealing, said he stole, all this stuff, and then that doesn't matter. It's crazy how much they got away with, and it's I had every excuse to go grab the bottle. I do all this stuff. I broke my back not too long ago, and I was in the hospital. I got to the hospital. I'm crying because I know it'll fix his pain.
Sure.
I pick up that bottle again. I told my wife that, and we're celebrating our 17-year anniversary tomorrow. And it's I put her through so much stuff with my drinking, so I'm super scared to drink. I know it's in it because say when you get sober, no matter what it is, whatever you're fighting is doing push-ups when you're sober and doing steroids in the background, and it's just pumping up, getting ready. So when you go, I got sober, and I was sober for almost 2 years, and I'm I'm good, I can drink.
Yeah, right.
So I was on vacation, had a couple drinks. 3 weeks later, I was about to drink a half gallon a day again. And functioning. I was completely functioning. I would drink a fifth in the morning on the way to the gym. At the gym, be drinking vodka and my cup of BCAAs and water. It was bad.
I've been there, man.
Yeah, it's it sucks, man. It's it's a hard thing, to fight that, especially when you're down. I've been, depressed and just sitting in my living room, not leaving my living room for a week.
That's the problem with substances is they are a solution. They're strictly a short-term solution. Shortly after they make it worse than it was before. Yeah. But they work for a couple hours, right? And so you really have to remind yourself where you've been how dark it can get, because I've been to the darkest depths of all of that.
Right.
And, you know, I don't want to go back. I got people to take care of. I have, you know, a fiance that I want to provide for. I have future children I want to be a great father for. And it's just, I'm grateful to have that responsibility and more each year, because that's what's keeping me, you know, on the straight and narrow.
Well, now you lived it too, so you can be a better dad. So you're not just someone that's saying something. You've lived it and experienced it. You know, I feel like that experience, even though it's kind of hard to talk about sometimes, like my wife gets mad at me sometimes about what you're talking about, some of the stuff I've done. It's not to gloat or tell everybody about my business. It's more just to educate and tell people they're not alone. You know?
Yeah.
And
That's
like,
and to have like someone that has had success now after being through that stuff.
yeah, I love
It's important to know that.
I love talking to high school kids. I love going to like the alternative schools and talking to the kids got in trouble. You know, like, you can be a mess up dude. You can mess up and go to jail and get out of it and go be a success.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to pigeonhole yourself in this. Who cares where your parents did? Who cares where your grandpa did? Who cares whoever raised you? No family, whatever. Who cares? You know, you get strap up your boots. Let's go. Let's get to work.
Yeah.
You know, make something of yourself.
One decision. Yeah.
Yeah. What's one unconventional strategy you've used that's worked really well for you?
Here's a weird one. This is not conventional. I've been doing this for the last year. I kind of hit a slump. I think I just burnt out for a while, and I realized that I wasn't as productive anymore, because and I think I was just lonely. I was, you know, I'm in front of a computer all day by myself, and I realized I just wasn't producing like I used to. However, if I was on a meeting with my team members, suddenly my mood was better. And if someone was watching me, I could perform and work and be very efficient. And so to replicate that, even when I'm not on a team meeting, I basically hire people on Upwork, virtual assistants, that literally I pay them to watch my screen and keep me on task. And if I start looking at my phone, they go, "What are you doing? Get back to work." So that is very unconventional. People laugh at me for this, and I don't care because it works.
You're not the first person I've heard say that.
Really? Yeah. I pay $3 to $5 an hour. And, you know, for folks that are, I mean, it's an easy job for them. It truly helps me. And I mean, typically I can produce, you know, $500 to $1,000 of value per hour if I'm focused. So, you know, this is just one of my little productivity hacks, you know?
Well, essentially it's buying back your time.
Totally.
You know, because everybody gets distracted by their phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I recently learned, and I turned my phone off so my phone does not beep when I get text.
Right.
And when I drive, my phone will not ring unless you call me twice. So I tell everybody, if you call me a regular straight voicemail, call me again if it's important.
Right.
If it's not, I'm driving, I'm listening to music, I'm enjoying myself, or I listen to podcasts or audiobooks. I'm dyslexic and all kinds of things. I'm autistic too. So it's like, I usually do, if I read a book, I read it and listen to it at the same time so I can obtain it.
Great. Yeah.
And so I like to listen to stuff on, you know, podcasts, whatever, or I'm just listening to some music and just vibe it out, having a good time.
Yeah.
Enjoying my drive.
Right.
Or just make people max on the speeding or whatever. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The other thing I would say is just sticking to things and having single-minded focus. You know, I see a lot of people have success with a project, and then they just think there's something better. There's grass is greener. So they switch. And my most successful friends, they're hyper-focused. They don't ever switch. My mentors, they own and execute on a single asset class with single set of criteria and a single-minded focus, and they just stick to that. And that's how you grow the largest sum of wealth and the biggest business. Is you get really, really good at one thing. You're not doing 50 different businesses, right? Your most successful business, I believe, is your plumbing business, is it not?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm trying to grow in a fashion where I'm trying to buy some businesses that I call them ancillary businesses, businesses I touch. You know, like we're starting to remodel. We're looking at buying some boring businesses that I don't have to do much with.
But you started with one, though, right?
Yeah, you have to get good at doing one thing. You can't do everything in plumbing.
Right.
I was a yes man. I still am to the point I'm a yes man. I'll do anything. You know, like, you work on my daughter last night? She had a house. I dropped her off on the way to practice for my son. She had a bonfire. Hey, Dad, would we work on boilers? No, but what's going on? You know, so I was going to help the guy fix it myself because I just couldn't do it, and I was going to charge him. You know.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I won't, but I will because I can do it. But as a company, it's hard to say no. You know, we did a job at 𝘠𝘬𝘮 Prep the other day, and it's like, yeah, should we be doing this? Maybe not, but I'm trying to get him 𝘠𝘬𝘮 Prep because it's nice to get school jobs, you know.
Sure.
So like, yeah, maybe not, but we'll just do it anyway, you know. So it's like, sometimes I leave it to my guys too, you know, but let it be their choice if they want to do the work or not, you know. Yeah, you have to do one thing. Because in the plumbing industry, there's also other stuff, just like real estate.
Yeah.
There's so many different things within the real estate market. You can do so many different things. There's such a wide variety of things you can do. So when someone says I'm in real estate, well, what do you do? What do you mean? Just tell me you're real estate doesn't tell me anything about you. So it really says nothing. Like, you got to tell me what you're actually doing in real estate,
Yeah.
And are you someone actually does something in real estate, or are you someone that has your license
That says they're in real estate.
says they're in real estate and sells one house a year or 2 years or something? Some people don't do anything and just do it so they can hang out. I don't know.
Sure.
Or
it's a hobby for some people.
Yeah, that's fine.
And that's okay.
My grandma did it. My grandma retired from Weyerhaeuser and all this stuff and did it as a, something,
Something to do.
Well, so one house a year is some good money when you're already retired,
Cool.
You started the 𝘠𝘰𝘮𝑚 group on Facebook.
Yeah.
So what impact does it have on the real estate community?
Well, we just hosted an event last night, our first event of 2025. We had 120 people in the room. Jimmy was there. We had Jared. We had people that are making a difference in the community come and share that wisdom, share that knowledge, and give that game for free. We charge $30 to come to the event,
right.
but it's really
that's nothing, dude.
It's next to free. And so I think primarily it's been a great platform for connection. People, I've personally, when I teach real estate investment too to beginners, I've personally partnered and own many properties now with people that I mentored and taught real estate to, which is just phenomenal. It's great to be a part of that. And I'm just one small part of that whole ecosystem. And the platform of 𝘠𝘰, which stands for WA Real Estate Investing, Washington Real Estate Investing, it allows hundreds, if not thousands of people to connect and find a partner, find a contractor to work with, find a lender, find a broker, anything you need. It's in there.
And that's a well-ran group, not like blowing smoke or anything, because you're here, but it's like, I like it. I go on there all the time. I talk to people, it's, I want to go to the event. I was coaching last night. Otherwise I was going to go, It's, I love doing that, meeting people, being in the same industry, the same like-minded individuals in the same room, the amount of energy you can leave with an event like that is crazy. You leave with a fire, and then be able to connect maybe with someone that, like I said, needs help. And the prophetic word for the year the church I go to is called as add value. So it's like, what can you do to add value to someone's life or add value to the space? So I try to go into situations when I go into a room, and I not just because this year is the word that we're for the church, whatever, but I've always tried to add value to a conversation or add value to a situation, no matter what kind of group I'm in. So it doesn't matter if I'm what I'm a part of. I try to add value to that group, or if I have something I can share, I don't hold it back. I'm a pretty open book, dude. I really don't care. Steal what I have. I really don't give a shit.
No, it's flattering.
Yes, it is.
Multiple other people create like a replica of my Facebook group in other states. They're not as successful because it's hard to outdo the original.
Right.
But I'm flattered because I'm like, dude, yeah, absolutely. What I've done is working. And so why wouldn't I be excited that you want to replicate it?
Yeah, how can I help you? Have any questions? Please ask.
How can we make money together?
Yeah, can we do it together?
Right.
Yeah, can we do some joint?
Exactly.
There's so much free game out there anyway. Who cares? So people are so scared to let everybody know what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff you can find anyway. You can go Google it. You can YouTube everything. You can YouTube how to fix any plumbing issue. You look up on YouTube. There's a video. I guarantee it.
For sure.
It doesn't matter. Some people are going to pay to get it fixed anyway. A lot of times it is more difficult than you really think.
Yeah.
But you can still fix it yourself. So who cares? It's free. So I try to tell people. I fix stuff over the phone. I FaceTime people.
Oh, really?
I've helped people. Yeah, of course. Through Facebook at the middle of the night, late at night. I'm telling people how to fix it themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, it's super easy. People, here's what you do. Send them a video.
Right.
I show them what to do. And seriously, yes, I'm not going to charge you. I don't care. But just if you have a referral, somebody else, just make sure you think about me. This please. Leave a review if you can. Do something nice for me. I just did something nice for you.
Sure.
Whatever. But it's just it's not that. As I said, it's easy to be nice. Just help.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna know that. It's so easy to grow when you're doing the right thing. If you're adding value and it's just a natural thing, you can grow easy. And so people want to do business with you because you're adding value to their life, right? So you're adding all this free information. You're helping people out. Hey man, can you help me with this? I have some money. I don't know what I'm doing. Can you help? Yes. You get to make money, they get to make money. They have a sense of security because you've done it. You're well known. So there's not that scaredness of, how hard it was for me to pull the trigger on my first deal. Like, I mean, I'm scared. I'm scared now to sell my house and buy a new house. Like, it's scary for me. I have a couple deals going all at the same time. It's kind of scary. I've never done it multiple deals. I had 5 at one time. I'm like, it's kind of nuts for me. I've never done that many at a time, but like, oh, whatever, who cares? And my wife's like, you're nuts. Like, whatever, who cares? It's like we all said, we also had 40-some employees at one time. Now we're at like 25, It's like, it's just whatever, but having that added value to, German I did an event. It's about being authentic, like authentic when you're, when you're advertising or when you're on social media and stuff. And it's like makes people, you're giving your true self, so it just makes it easier for people to do business with you, and just add value to someone's space, It's like
it can be scary in the beginning to share your true, authentic thoughts and feelings because you don't know how it's going to be received. And some people will reject you when you're authentic, but the only way to actually find your people is to be authentic.
Yeah, man. Because do you really want people that aren't who you really are? Do you want to have this little fake thing you got to put up and not be your true self, or do you want to have, the quality of friends or the quality of people? Do you want to have? So, I don't want my phone to ring more. I have enough. I get like 6,000 text messages a month or something crazy. Yeah, I don't need my phone to ring more. I want the quality. I want the quality of friendships. I want to spend time with the quality people and have meaningful relationships, not necessarily just money. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about quality of life, quality of the meaningfulness and like people that are making a difference and stuff like that. I don't care about the money. Money comes and goes, that kind of stuff. But like that, the quality of life, and the quality of that, you don't need to have just a bunch of people like you. I don't give a shit if you like me or not. I used to. I
think it's a problem. If everyone likes you, that means you're not sharing fully and authentically. Right?
And it's like, I've had recently, think about this. You don't take advice from somebody you wouldn't seek out for, or you don't take criticism for someone you wouldn't look to for advice. You got to think about that.
That's a good one.
Choose your enemies wisely. Why do I care what this dude says when he has nothing that I want? Yeah, I don't want to be anything like this dude. So why I give a shit what he has to say?
Got to be careful reading.
Who cares?
Don't read the YouTube comments.
I don't even care. I wouldn't even look at anything like who's this fat ass? He doesn't even know what he's talking about. Man. So. How important is networking in this business, and what advice do you have for investors to build meaningful connections? And then the last one I maybe add on that is if there's maybe like one piece of advice you can give for someone watching this that they could take from this, like that one gold nugget they can take home and like really look into, or maybe like just think about, take away from this conversation,
Okay. How important is networking? I don't think networking is that important personally. I think people overstate the importance of networking initially when they're starting something new. They're like, you just got to network, just got to go to all the things. And I think it's good to go and put yourself out there and meet people and hear what they're doing. But I think a lot of people get trapped in this like, oh, I just need to network my way to the top. And I don't think that's the play. I think the play is like execute, and then people will naturally get to know you. The right people will get to know you as you're climbing the ladder of success. And you don't have to go out there and force connection. You can just execute on what you want to do. And the other people that are executing, guess what? You're going to bump into each other. Yeah. You're just going to meet, and you're going to have way more natural, real connections. If you run into someone because they're doing a flip next to you, that's a lot more meaningful than here's my business card at a meetup, It's just different. So.
I'm sure we've all met the serial networker,
right?
They go to every single, like, how do you even work? How do you have every single networking event? I know there's one person I know, and she works for a bank, and that's her actual job. So that makes sense. But there's people like, how are you at every single networking event I've ever been to? Like, I see you on a Monday at one, I see you a Thursday the next week at another one, like. You just, that's all you do? Yeah. And that's some people, that's all they do. Sure. Network. They're just trying to get people to buy their snake oil.
Right. No, I think that the most meaningful connections I've made have been organic connections. Don't get me wrong. There's some value at networking events, of course. But I think the most meaningful ones are like, hey, I have a specific need for a partner to execute on this deal. Like, I got to go find that person. And then I meet some really cool people because I actually have a specific need, and I'm like executing on my business. And that's what I like more so than just going to a meetup. Meetup's great to like understand the general lay of the land and that's about it for me.
And a lot of people have their shield up, when they're at a networking event.
Sure, yeah.
They're trying to show their best self or maybe be a little fake or just, there's that facade of whatever they're trying to be. That's not really who they are, So I love, so I'm a really blunt person and I love people's response. Sometimes I'll say stuff. I'm like, I can't believe you just said that. Sometimes I think about, I probably shouldn't have said that. I'm gonna get kicked out. I'm never going to get, no one's ever asked me back to this office. I'm going to get kicked out of Jan Wanot now. But, it's just, the networking thing, I'm kind of tossed up, because I have, sometimes I like networking. I like to meet people. I love people. So I love meeting new people. I love to hear about people. I love to talk to people. My grandma, that's what my grandma's thing. We could be in the shopping at the grocery store, meet everybody in front, behind.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's fun.
So
yeah.
I just love people. So for me, I love it. But there's also the networking. It's not necessary to do what you're doing.
No.
But for someone just starting, I definitely think networking is important for someone just starting out.
It's never going to hurt.
No.
I just think a lot of people, again, get stuck in, this is my pathway to success is just chatting. And I'm like, no, you need to put your head down.
And find someone that's executing it, because there's so much misinformation.
Yeah.
And so many people that say they're doing something and not doing it. And there's so much, I talk this all the time, multiple times a day, but it's the Instagram highlight reel of this kid that has this fancy car and this big house. That's not even his, it's his parents. And it's, his mom's car, dad's car, it's dad's garage, and he's saying it's his, and he does this and that, and he's all this whatever crap. And it's like, this is a lie. Well, I mean, that's really it, man. So I really appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much for
fantastic.
having me,
Actually, get me in person. We get to talk. Facebook and messages and different groups and stuff. You block my stuff. No, I'm just playing. If I said something bad, I swore too many times or something. But no, man, I really appreciate what you do. Like I said, the stuff you guys put on. Like I've always heard good stuff about the events.
Cool.
I've actually never got to make it to one of the events. I coach a lot, so it's hard when it's like during the week.
We'll just have you speak at one, man.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, let's do.
I love that. I love educating people
on business. People get burnt out on all real estate all the time. So I like to do something kind of still related, but not completely just pure real estate. So
I do both too. So it's like
exactly
different ways of looking at it.
Yeah. Awesome.
So man, I appreciate you.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you.